guys, and welcome back to another episode of Aligned and Thriving for Teachers, the podcast where we speak the truth, honour the heart behind all the work, and celebrate the people who make it all possible. And that is what today's episode is all about. We've already celebrated our admin heroes, and today we are celebrating our TAs, our totally awesome classroom legends. And this is a love letter to them. Because honestly, we could not do our jobs without them. And if you are one, and TAs, this is a love letter to you. So whether you call them TAs or ESS or education support, whatever you are, they are the glue. They work across all classes, across all needs, across all moods, ours and our students, and they just keep showing up. So this one is for them and every teacher who knows how powerful that partnership can be. So let's be real. TAs hold it all together. Every thriving teacher has a TA in the background keeping the vibe in check, running interference, holding space when we're out and about or about to lose our marbles. They are the ones that step into a classroom mid-chaos and instantly read the room and start putting out those little spot fires with us. They're the ones that comfort the crying kid when you're trying to teach a concept to the rest of the class. They're the ones that are helping you to prep the work, cut the work, print the work, laminate the work, make the beautiful displays. That is definitely a big one for me. I've gone through a lot of TAs. That sounds bad. I mean, I've worked with a lot of TAs, and one thing I always had them doing was my displays because I'm not fantastic at them. I just get, I think I've got ADHD myself and ASD, a little bit of everything. Not diagnosed yet, of course, but I tended to forget what I was doing and get distracted. So then I never really finished them, or they'd be like really good in spaces and then not so good in others. So TAs have really assisted me in this process to make me look like this amazing teacher who makes amazing displays when really I've just had a totally awesome human assisting me in that process. They're also the ones that keep an eye on those quiet students, especially those ones that you might see slipping through the cracks. They go and pick them up. And somehow they're the ones that never forget who's allergic to what and which kid had a meltdown at recess and what was the other things that we needed to follow up on, because they're like your second brain. You share a brain sometimes. It's just there. They just know the class just as well as what we do, sometimes even better, especially if they've been at that school for a long time and you're new to that school. They know everything and they are like your go-to little expert of who's friends with who and who's not, and which parent is this and da-da-da-da. They're always the ones that you go to. So TAs, they work with everyone and they still smile about it too. They get to work with some of our most complex learners, some of our loudest learners, and our quiet ones too, and every single adult in the building sometimes. They start their day in Year 3 literacy and they might end in the high needs sensory room with no 2 hours the same. They cop the confusing directions, the vague photocopying instructions, every teacher's mood, good and bad, the behaviour meltdowns, and often don't get enough thanks. And yet, they still come back again and again because they care. They're adaptable, they're compassionate, they're often intuitive, and sometimes the only calm in a very chaotic classroom. This one, you might be lucky enough to have the TA that reads your mind. One of the most beautiful TA experiences I've ever had. I was in full teacher mode, juggling 5 different groups. I think it was a grade 1. The behaviours were really up. I was trying to differentiate across a whole variety of levels. You know the drill. And without saying a word, my TA has entered the room. She'd been working with me for that whole year, and she just knew. She knew exactly what I needed. I turned around to go and explain stuff to her and to work with this, how to work with this other group I wanted. She was already there. She was already at the table, modelling the task, handing out the pencils, redirecting kids quietly. She was giving the exact support that I needed with zero fuss and just gave me like the nod, like, I got you. I was like, oh my God, this is great. This is amazing. I don't even need to say anything. We just had that relationship where she could just honestly read my mind, and it was amazing. And we worked as a perfect team. We were just in sync. We'd make eye contact and she'd just know exactly what I needed or what I meant. We weren't just colleagues, like we were a team, a solid unit. And I have never forgotten how supported I felt in that classroom and in that space. It was honestly one of the most amazing years of my teaching career because we just had that. And you might have that with a special TA. So make sure you tell them how much you appreciate them because they need to hear it, because we do. We do appreciate everything they do. So then there's the flip side. And I know that if TAs are listening, this happens to you too. We don't always get the perfect match. Let's be real. No partnership is ever completely smooth. There was one year where I worked with a TA that I pretty much clashed with every single day. We had completely different styles of teaching, different understandings of what education looks like, different communication rhythms, different expectations. We were just on different planets, really. And it was hard and at times a little bit awkward. But I tried. We tried. Because TAs aren't just extra help, they're also human beings that have experience, they have ideas, and they have emotions too. So eventually, I realized that I probably wasn't playing to their strengths and I was trying to control too much and tell them what to do. When I shifted more to open conversations of what do you feel confident in leading? Or where do you feel like you could best support in the classroom space today? Everything started to change. We still weren't besties, but we had a mutual respect for each other, and that's what mattered because then we were a team for the kids. Okay. And you might have that if you're a TA working with a teacher that you feel you have that relationship with. So maybe you need to change your language too and sort of have that open line of communication. That's just an idea. So, working with TAs. I'm taking a deep breath because this one can be always controversial, but I want to make this very clear that I am a teacher and I have this opinion that we are not above them. Okay? Because you are not like in charge of your TA, you work with them. You are not there to have them be your assistant. Like they're trained, experienced professionals too. They often have insights that you don't even realize because you're so busy teaching that they see other things going on. So I like to look at it like a partnership, like you're a team in that classroom space. You are working together. Okay? I mean, and this is why I said it's controversial. Everyone's going to have a different view of this, but I want people to know that you are a team in that classroom space and that's how the kids view you. They have that respect for you as the teacher. They have respect for whoever it is that's in your classroom as that TA as well. And I would hope that you would have respect for them too, and vice versa. So here's how I work to build an amazing working relationship, and I do my absolute best. I always ask for their input. So what's working, what's not? They see things that I don't see. So why not ask them? Another thing, I give clear instructions. As a shocker, for the mid-morning coffee blurt of just blurting out everything I needed, and that probably wasn't the best thing to do. So I had to get better at giving visuals, like bonus points to you if you can give a full list of written instructions for your day. Woohoo. I was not that person. I am an organized human, but sometimes I would forget things and I would give the vaguest of photocopying instructions. Some of them got it, but sometimes even I didn't know what I meant. So make sure you give the clearest instructions that you can. Like I talked about before, but learn their strengths and lean into that. Some TAs are like behavior ninjas. Some thrive in small group instruction groups. Some love prepping. So let them shine where they like to be appreciated most and where they are going to thrive and be strong. And if you're a TA and you need to step up and talk to your teacher and say, I'm actually really good at doing XYZ. Can I have a go at that? Go for it. Give it a go. But never dump or delegate without any context. Like, oh, can you run this group? That's fine. But then what are you working on? What's the intention? What's the goal? What are you actually trying to achieve? They need to know that too. So again, it's that give and take mutual respect situation. They actually need to know what they're doing. And you need to know what you're doing to tell them what they're doing. Make sense? I think. And then check in personally. Like, how are you going? Not just like, hey, how you going? Typical Aussie speak. You're not actually asking the question. You're just like, hey, how you going? And then you keep walking. No, I'm talking like actually caring about what they have to say. So, how are you going today? And checking in and actively listening to their answer and response. So, you're checking in to see how they're going and how they're coming set up for the day. Okay. So, confession time. And I sort of touched on this about copying instructions, that I was that person that probably handed over worksheets and just said, can you copy this? And I'd probably forgotten to say double-sided, or that I needed 2 pages, and then that one I didn't want upside down. I wanted that one put the right way up. Or do you only need 6 copies or 26 copies? Yep, I forgot. Probably didn't mention that the photocopier was also jammed at the time and I didn't want to deal with it. So it was like, oh, if I leave that for my TA, they'll have to deal with the jammed photocopier and I can just go teach. Please don't do that. Please learn from my mistakes. Let's not make our TAs have to decode our absolute chaos of our brains like me. Respect their time and be clear and own it when you mess up and make a mistake. Oh, I do every time. And they'll love you for it too, even if you laugh about it together later, like I have many times about my silly little mistakes or notes that I've written that make absolutely zero sense to me or anyone else, because I've probably written them at a very dodgy time in the morning. So please just be clear. So let's just take a moment now to celebrate the types of TAs that I have loved working with. And you might have worked with some like this too. You've got the young, fresh out of TAFE person who has the energy, who brings creativity and curiosity to your classroom. The seasoned, wise, been here since the building was built TA who just knows everyone and everything. You've got the mum vibe TA who somehow just always has tissues, hair ties, Nurofen and Panadol in their bag, and the calming energy all the time, no matter what's going on. Then you get the ones that keep you grounded, the ones who say, you're doing such a good job, even when they see that you are utterly drowning. You might have the ones that laugh with you after a really wild lesson and say, well, that was a mess, but we survived. Let's go again tomorrow. You're magic, guys, every single one of you. And if you work with some that are like this, again, please go thank them and tell them how magical it is that you are blessed to work with them each and every day. So let's say it together as some affirmations. So you can say them out loud or you can say them in your heart. But I honor the work my TA does every day. And if you're a TA, you can flip it and say that you honor the work that you get to do with your teacher every day. I choose to work in partnership, not hierarchy. We are stronger together and we thrive when we respect one another. And lastly, I'm grateful for the support, the laughter, and the heart that they bring. So, to every TA out there, whatever your school calls you, you are not background support. You are frontline magic. And if you are a teacher listening, make sure you remind them of that, because they hold space, they hold hearts, and sometimes they even hold us together when we're about to lose it. And I get a little bit emotional at that point. Sorry, because I know that I've had quite a few TAs that have probably held me together, especially at some particular schools that I've worked at, that they were probably the glue that held our class together and stuck me back together to help me get through my probably year from hell. So thank you. And if you have a TA that's like that too, please make sure you thank them. Sorry, guys. I didn't think I would get to that point, but I'm only human. Just don't forget that, yes, if you're a teacher, you're the one planning the lessons, but we all know that TAs are the ones that are there to help our classrooms thrive and to help them hum the way that they should. So thank you. Thank you for turning up every day, even when you've had horrible days, and you turn up the next day still with that smile on your face. Thank you for staying calm and for doing all the work that most people probably never see. Even the parents might not get to see what TAs do for you in the classroom. So we see you, we love you, and this episode was for all of you, especially all of the beautiful TAs that I've ever had the privilege of working with. So thank you. Don't ever forget how valued you are. And teachers, please go and do a shout out to your TAs and thank them for all the hard work that they do for all of us. So until next time, guys, stay aligned and keep thriving. And I will talk to you again next time. See ya.